We're often asked if it's possible to add a different type of guidebook to an existing account. For example, you might have wedding parties and you want to create a wedding guide, or you have a website and you want to include a guidebook that's marketing your area and therefore you want to create a tourism guide. The good news is that it's actually very simple to do it. It's just not easy until someone shows you how to do it. So I've opened up an account where I've got two properties, Beach Retreat and Silver Sands Villa, but I now want to add a wedding guide. So the very first thing I do is I go to Content Hub. I start to use the tag system, and the tag system will allow me to send information that I include here in Content Hub to specific guides. In other words, it will allow me to build out some information that's relevant to a wedding party and send it just to my wedding guide. So I need to create a tag to enable that functionality. So I hit add new tag. I'm going to call this one wedding because this is going to be for my wedding guide. And I don't currently have any guidebooks yet for my wedding. I haven't yet created my wedding guide. So I'm not going to select my guides yet. I'm just going to create the tag. The color you choose is completely optional. And I'm going to hit create tag. That's now created the tag for me. I'm now going to go and add that guide. So I click add a new guide, and I'm just going to call this wedding guide. I'm sure you'll be more imaginative. And I'm going to call this one test street, and test town, and a test region. I'm not feeling very inspired today, as you can tell, and I'm going to say this one is in the United States. Hit next, and it says, right, upload a cover photo. I'm going to skip that for now, but you can upload whatever photo you want, and you can change it later, it doesn't matter. I now have to decide which kind of guide I'm creating here. Since I'm creating a wedding guide, I want to attach it to my wedding tag that I just created, and that's the reason why you create that tag before you add your new guide. And then I do have this nice option to copy the colors and fonts from an existing guide, so I don't have to do it again. You can choose to have different fonts and colors for this new guide, and that's absolutely possible, but I'm just going to copy it and hit create guide. Now I've got my wedding guide here on the page with its own unique link. I go back into Content Hub in the same way that you've been building content for your other properties, but now I've got some specific wedding content that I want to add. So for example, I do still want to have a welcome section at the top, but I don't want to have the existing welcome message in there because I don't want to talk about what it's like to stay with us in Cape Town and the Wi-Fi details and the I don't know, like how to do stuff. I might want parts of that, but essentially I want to create a different version of this for my wedding guests. So in the same section underneath welcome here, I've got my existing welcome topic. I'm going to add another one. So I'm going to add another one, and I'm going to call it the same thing, welcome, and then I'm going to say something about it, whatever it is. And now the good bit happens, because at the bottom, I get to tell TouchStay to send this topic only to my wedding guide. And if I'd chosen to all, it will send it to all of my guides, all three that I now have in my account. But I don't want that. I just want it to go to my wedding guide, and I hit submit. That now means that this information here called welcome is going to all of my properties, whereas this one here is only going to my wedding property. Things like before you leave home, adding the app to your phone, that's going to be the same. So we leave that with the all tag, because the all tag means this content is going to all of my guides, including the wedding one. So I do want to keep that. So this is the nice thing about what you've created, is you can add certain topics that you only want to be for the wedding one, but any existing topics you've got that you don't think you need to change and are valid, just add those, leave those as all, and it will go into the wedding guide too. So that's the way to keep building it. At a certain point, you're bound to have the need for a new category. So just as you've been using TouchStay before, this one might be, accommodation options. So maybe you wanted to create a section for wedding guests to know where to stay. Hopefully they stay with you, but maybe if it's a bigger party and they need to stay in other places, then you can mention that. Choose an icon here. Doesn't really matter which one you choose. I'm just going to go for the bathtub one for now. Hit submit. And in the same way as you've done before, create your own subcategory. So you might say nearby B&Bs. Hit submit. And then you're going to start adding your B&Bs. So probably as a Google Place, but I'm going to quickly add one as a topic. So lovely local B&B, blah, 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 whatever it is. Now, again, wedding, so that it only appears in my wedding guide and not my other ones. Now, I've focused here on wedding. That same philosophy, that same approach applies if you're creating a local tourism guide, if you're creating a cookbook guide with a bunch of recipes, if you're creating a training manual for your maintenance staff or your cleaning staff, or a how to clean the home, whatever guide you're creating that you want to do within your existing account and you're not sure how, you follow this same logic. And all you do is you add the relevant tag like I did before, go and create that new guide, and then simply come here to Content Hub and tag the relevant content with the relevant tag to ensure that it only goes into that guide. I hope that's been useful. If you've got any questions about that process, you can always contact us on info@touchday.com if something's not clear. Thanks very much.